Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. My name's David and this is my channel. Today's video is called We Must Release and Then Receive. This is the only way. Let's talk about this. So it's so important to understand that each one of us is a mixture of two of us. When I first learned this, it was such a fascinating thing to understand. So let me just explain real quick, even in terms, because that's what the yin and yang idea is. Let's explain it really quick in terms of the body. I have an energy that goes out and I have an energy that comes in. Okay, does everybody see that? One going out, one coming in. I can't do anything without something going out, something coming in. We've talked about the idea of the bicep, tricep, something contracting, something extending. So there's this idea of two things that are merging together and mixing, so to speak, to create a feeling of one. Now, if I go out a lot, let's say I have someone in my Kung Fu school that just loves to punch and they don't pay attention to receive, then this is going to be the dominant part of them. And when they merge, they're going to push against each other and be very sporadic. It's not going to look like a nice mixture anymore. It's going to look like one pushing against the other. You follow? Sit with that. So now let's take these two parts of you. You have a part, and I'm just going to call it the part that we want to release. The part of you that you want to release. And let's talk about that part. That part is fearful. It's afraid. It's negative. It sees things missing in people and in the world. It's worried of death and worried of lack and loss. It has this complete negative way of seeing things. And it feels very separate and alone. And that part of you we would call the darkness. It's that idea of dark. It's a darker part of who we are. It's very separated and very fearful and afraid. Not very happy. Can you feel that part of you? Just take a second and feel that part of you. Can you feel it in you? Now, let's talk about the part that we want to receive. That's that part of us that's happy, joyful, loving, excited, thrilling. You see? Woo! It's passionate. I can't wait. It's just always excited for more. I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm curious. Whatever you decide. And I recommend writing down for you these attributes of these two parts. We all have them. Now, as you take those two, I want you to imagine that they're just merged together, and that makes up you. Believe it or not. There is no one you, there's these two make up you, just like there's the two that make up this. And this is the key once you get this. Because you're the amalgamation of these two things. Now, if you're more fearful and more afraid, then just like this one's going to push against this part. And you're going to feel that when you go out and you say, I want to go do this and have fun. No, what about that last time? It's not going to work out, and so forth and so on. It's that sabotaging part. Anyone know the word self-sabotage? Boy, we know that, right? I want that money, but you know what? I don't know if I'm worthy enough. Can you feel the two parts back and forth? You know, I look in the mirror and I say, I want to be beautiful, but man, look at that part of me and look at that part of me. And I don't know about that. That's this part. I want to be beautiful. Which one's speaking? Which one has the realm in your life more than anything else? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Which one's running the ship, so to speak? Because here we are in the middle and we have the decision to go in either way, but are we favoring this part more? But that's okay. Can you recognize there's still this part? Just like I go like this, can you recognize there's still something coming back? This one might be dominant, but they're still there. And once you recognize that, then the journey is not to get rid of this guy. Just like the journey is not to get rid of this guy. We need to get them in balance. We need to get them in balance. And once these two parts come in balance, they will come together. And now this part will say, oh man, that could be fearful, but you know what? I know all things are well. Ooh, this part will comfort it. Do you see? I can feel alone, but I know that I'm taken care of. Does that make sense? I want to move in this direction. Yes, things might not work out, but I have faith that they will. And one will comfort the other with the answer and the solution. Anytime this one has a problem, I wonder about this and I need to know this. This one will say, no problem, I've got the answer. All things are working out. And you'll find once they're together that there's this strength and power and confidence in what's to come. I'm asking for this and I know it will come. Can you feel the two coming together, working together perfectly? You see, until they just merge into one so much. Negative and positive answering each other, flowing, becoming one, and no longer afraid. But how do we do that? Just like how do we put these two together? We have to recognize that the two work together. So when you're here, it starts first by knowing that you're here. I want to do something, and then there's a part of me that tries to sabotage it. Can you feel the two? That's the first thing. Then write down on each side what each one says. Recognize that you are an amalgamation of both. That's the way it works. Which one's more dominant in your life? That's okay. Then from a neutral position, you say, which one do I want to choose to follow? And whichever one you choose, law of attraction is going to move you, right? And it's going to feel like a magnet. That's okay. But you can choose. And then the key is to choose this direction. I really want to make this money and have fun and have this, really good journey in this. What if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't? Now you say, interesting. What is it that makes me believe it's not going to work out? Where's this belief that's running this part of me? Because let's just say this part of you that's afraid and worried and alone doesn't believe that it's God. It doesn't believe that it's one. It doesn't believe that it's loved. It doesn't believe that it's capable. Can you see? Can you feel that part of you? Dave, I'm not one with God. I'm not one with Source. I'm not unconditionally loved. There's no way I'm unconditionally loved. Don't you know me? I'm not beautiful. Can't you see me? I'm not good. Don't you know what I've done? You see? Guilt, sin. I'm guilty. Look at my past. Always in the past, right? Always in. This part is hooked to the past. Believing that it's now. Believing that the past creates now. Past creates now. I must be where I'm at because of the past. I must be separated. I can never be one with God again. I can never be one with Source again. And this part says, no, you are. But this one might be muffled. You might not hear it as much. You know it's there, perhaps, but maybe not hear it as much. The spiritual journey is simply releasing this in order to receive this. It doesn't mean we have to move and let go of this. And this took me a long time to understand. I don't like this part of me. I just want to let go of it. No. I hate it. No. That's not how it works. The goal is to take this part of you that's afraid. Can you feel that inner child? Can you just hold that child that's afraid and worried because of the past? It's separated in its mind and projecting it out onto everything it sees. So therefore, all these people are also reflecting back its fears and its worries and its insecurities. You see, can you take that part and put it into your heart for a second and recognize that it's not something we throw away? You see, you can't throw away this part. You have to bring them together. And this is where it gets tricky. The only way to bring them together is from that neutral position and saying, you know what? I'm going to move in this direction. And the more you move in the direction, I'm going to believe, I'm going to have faith, even if it's just hope, that I am that one Source and that things work out for me. And I am good, and I am loved, and I am appreciated. And then this part magically, believe it or not, starts pulling this one in. You're now moving that one closer to this part. Isn't that interesting? You got to bring the prodigal son home. It's your journey. That's what each one of us came here, to bring this part of us home. It's so separated. We knew it. And now we're bringing it home. How do we bring it home? By not moving in this direction. It's the most interesting thing. But the more I don't follow this other part that's trying to sabotage my life without pushing against it and hating it or believing it's somewhere else, but just from a decision saying, I'm going to decide not to move in that direction, and I'm going to decide to move in this direction. And I start receiving this one by releasing that one. Makes sense? Just like this, instead of moving in this direction from a neutral position, recognizing there's another way. I'll start receiving first and then bringing this one in. But I got to release this one in order to receive this one. Do you see? It is a journey of these two. It really is. It really is. And they're opposites. Fear, love, they're opposites. But they're both you, because you have attached yourself to it, and the inner child is really hooked on that vibration of fear and believing it as itself. We cannot throw the baby out with the bathwater. We have to bring it back. And the way we do that is by loving, appreciating, understanding, remembering who we are, first through hope. I hope that Dave is right. Can I be that one source? Can I be unconditionally loved? Can I be part of something bigger and wonderful and amazing? Does my life really work out for me? These are great questions to ask, because they move you in the direction. Is it possible that I can take almost every situation in my life and say, what can I find positive in it in order to move in this direction? And every time you move in the direction of positivity, you release that negative part of you trying to pull you down. But you can't beat it up. This is where it's hard for us. We have to move in this direction willingly, on purpose, and let go of this part. And as you let go of it, you will bring it in. They will come together. They will come together. And you will see that's that mind activity, the two parts battling each other. Recognize it's you. It's you. And between those two, it's going to be reflected out there, like a mirror reflection, bringing it back to you, showing you what we call duality, good and bad in separate places. They're not in separate places. This is why, from a place of connection, you can look out and say, wow, that person that's doing that heinous crime doesn't understand that they have the power to attract a life that's beautiful for them. Clearly, they feel like they're afraid. They're following this inner child that has been beaten up for a long time. And you can see it in them and have compassion and love for their journey. And excitement. Woo, they're going to get there eventually, though. Boy, that's a lot to look forward to. Because you see both. Just like when I see my student like this, I don't see this, I see both of them. And I say, hey, how about we move a little bit this way? And balance. Not getting rid. Balance is the answer. Release this part in order to receive this part, and they will magically come together. And then when they do, as they do it, little bit at a time, if this one's pulling you down a lot, those of you that are really being pulled down by this one, and you can feel that part of you, that inner child that's very afraid, each time as you move into a direction of saying, I feel that pull, I'm going to find something positive, which means you're moving to choose, you're choosing this direction to the other part of you. And as you do that, clarity will start flowing in to let you know what this one is thinking. Why does it want to pull you down? And you'll see it's a relationship between these two. That's why you hear people saying you can't get rid of the darkness, you have to embrace the darkness with light. There's that idea of bringing these two together, of loving them both, instead of trying to get rid of one. You cannot get rid of negative, because negative just seems missing. What is it missing? It's missing its wholeness. This part is missing its wholeness. If it had its wholeness, it wouldn't have any of these beliefs. Somehow, a part of you has picked up all these crazy beliefs that don't serve you. But guess what? How cool is it? Yes, you've picked up this part, but can you feel this other part? It didn't go anywhere. It cannot. It must be there. Even if it's just a little tiny spark of light, it has to be there. It cannot disappear. Isn't that nice to know? And then from this neutral position of recognizing that spark of light is there, Dave, it's tiny, but it's there. I can start fanning it by releasing this. And as you start moving in this direction, you'll start pulling this in, and they will go like this. And before long, you won't have those crazy sabotaging beliefs. You'll say, you know what, this might not work out, but I have faith and trust that it will. And then you'll feel them both. That part of you, negative Nancy, right? Oh, I don't know. And then that positive Paul, right? So, no, I think it will. And they'll start agreeing with each other. Yes, you'll still see the two, but they will merge magically together. All is well. Wow, I have a question. I'm curious about that, but I'm sure that the answer will come of its own accord. As a matter of fact, I'm excited about it coming. You see, now the two flow together perfectly, equally, and balanced. The prodigal son ventured out alone for a while, found itself lost, and now it has come home. The son and the father have come together to create an equal, perfectly balanced and loving relationship. And now you know they are both in you. They're not outside of you. They're in no other universe. They're in you. And your journey is to bring them back together. Release this. Don't push against it. Don't hate it. Just release it a little bit at a time. And you'll receive the other side. It will receive. And they will go just like this until they become one. Take that with you. As always, it is my pleasure to give this to all that will receive. And as always, it is up to you what you do receive. Thank you very much for please keep the comments coming. So much love for all of you. I am on this journey with you, right? I'm on this journey with you. And it's wonderful, and it's taxing, and it can be difficult and challenging at times, but it is a worthy journey indeed. Hit the like button if it speaks to you. Subscribe, and as always, my unconditional love